Hi y'all, this is part 3 of Chibi Devil. The story continues with Hanoka watching a sleepover video of Mao and the other devil babies. Shin asks her why she's watching the video again. She tells him that Shiori said watching this video made her decide to stop being Rai's mother. She realized everything when she saw Mao and Karen together, while Rai was crawling all alone. The next day, she arrived at Shiori's door with a bag full of photos of Rai. As she rang the bell, Shiori didn't open the door, so she leaves them all there for her and departs. Shiori later comes out to check, but doesn't take the bag inside. For the next few days, Hanoka repeatedly brings new photos and leaves them outside of Shiori's door. Finally, Shiori comes out and sees a bundle of bags outside her door, and she takes them with her. She opens the picture book and sees pictures of Rai with Mao and Karen, and she's amazed that Rai is enjoying time with the other babies. She visits Hanoka's house and asks her how she knew that Shiori didn't want to be Rai's mother, because he was always alone. Hanoka replies that if she were in Shiori's place, she would have felt the same. Shiori explains that she didn't want Rai to develop a lone wolf behavior like her, being unfriendly and hurting others as kids, which is often learned from parents. Hanoka disagrees, showing a video of Rai bringing everyone's nappies, and explaining that he's like a big brother who takes care of the devil babies. Just then, Shin arrives with the kids, and Rai becomes happy to see Shiori. Shiori approaches him, apologizing for leaving him alone. She thanks Hanoka for everything, and she smiles, thinking that Shiori is happy as well. And Mao smiles, seeing his mama happy. The next day at the nursery, the principal is dancing with joy because Shiori is back. Natsuki asks Shiori how she got so close to Hanoka, to which she replies, "Leave me alone. It has nothing to do with you." And all the devil babies appear to be happy together as well. In the next scene, Hanoka sits with Mao and gives him mashed vegetables with flavors, his first taste of baby food. But Mao doesn't want to eat it. Hanoka tries one by one, but he keeps refusing, so she eats some herself, saying it's yummy. Seeing her, Mao tries a bit, but it tastes bad and he cries. While wondering how to make him eat the veggies, she suddenly hears Shin yelling at Mao, which causes him to cry. Shin tells Hanoka that Mao is pulling things out of the trash can. Hanoka tries to calm Shin down, but he becomes more irritated as he believes scolding Mao is necessary for him to understand his mistake. This reminds Hanoka of a time when she was crying because bullies made her clean the classroom. Her friend Kiyu appeared and introduced her with his friend Shin, and Shin shouted at Hanoka to stop crying, but his angry shout scared her, and she ran away. Later, he said he wasn't mad, but trying to encourage her. She remembers another time when she cried because bullies made her do their homework. Shin appeared again. He advises her to learn to say no and suggests tearing their notebooks and throwing them away. She expresses concern that the bullies might get into trouble, surprising Shin as to why she cares about them. He asks her to hand him the notebooks, and she thinks he'll tear them. But the next moment, he starts doing the homework together with her. Back to the present, Shin asks Mao to come, but Mao is scared and turns away. Hanoka assures Shin she'll handle it. She gives Mao a homemade pancake, and he refuses at first, but the smell convinces him to try, and he likes it. Hanoka tells Shin that Mao didn't want to eat the veggies, so she mixed them with the pancake. She believes Mao should have forgotten his upset feelings towards Shin by now. To confirm this, Shin tries to talk with Mao about whether the food is tasty, and Mao responds with a big smile. Just then, Shin points out his plate, and it seems he doesn't like cucumbers. However, he finishes everything on his plate and appears happy. The next day at the nursery, Shiori and Natsuki tell Hanoka about a park event where mothers take their children to play with others. Natsuki shares her experience of taking Karen to the park. When she tried to interact with others, they completely ignored her. Hanoka realizes what she wants to do next. When Mao is asleep that night, she looks at him and thinks he probably wants to play with other kids too. The next day, she takes Mao to the park and tries to approach the other mothers, but she's unable to get their attention. Mao makes a sound and all the mothers turn their attention to him, commenting on how cute he is and asking his name. Hanoka introduces Mao, and they ask if he wants to play with their babies. She places Mao with the other children and then goes to sit with the other moms and starts chatting with them. As she talks with them, they tell her, "Your little brother is so cute." Hanoka is surprised and asks, "Little brother?" They ask her if she's not in school, and she realizes she can't reveal Mao's true identity to anyone. They all start discussing their babies. Hanoka says raising a child is difficult. The mothers look at her with confusion and she quickly corrects herself, pretending to talk about her parents' experience. She watches Mao playing happily with the other devil babies in the sand. He's dressed in a dragon costume and suddenly he breathes fire due to the costume's effect. One woman asks Hanoka what happened, and she tries to stop Mao from doing it again. He breathes fire again, and the other kids find it exciting. Hanoka gets nervous, and the others notice the burst of flame. She denies it, saying they might have seen something else. As Mao tries to breathe flames once more, Hanoka distracts everyone by pointing out that there's a flying elephant seal. They can't see anything and Hanoka says, "Sorry, I thought I saw one." She realizes that if she stays longer, they might find out that Mao is a devil baby. She quickly takes Mao away and leaves the park, but Mao is smiling a lot. After they leave, the other babies are happy, and the mothers comment on how much fun their babies had with Mao, and they hope he comes back again. The next day at the nursery, all the mothers are amazed to see that Karen can now stand up, using the table for support. The principal and caretaker congratulate Natsuki for this achievement. Hanoka starts imagining Mao being able to stand like that. On another day, Rai also stands up with support, astonishing everyone once again. The caretaker says that maybe Rai saw Karen standing and thought, "Me too!" As Rai and Karen play on the cart, the principal says that they'll soon provide a cart for Mao as well. Now Hanoka observes Mao, thinking about when he will try stand, and 2 weeks pass like that. Suddenly, she sees Mao attempting to stand up, but he keeps falling down. In the nursery, she watches the devil babies playing while standing on the cart, so she worries about when Mao will attempt to stand himself. Shiori hugs her from behind, and Natsuki reassures her that Mao will start standing soon. Back at home, while playing with Mao, Hanoka passes a ball to him and wonders if she's spoiled him so much that he hasn't tried to walk. Just then, Shin comes in and tells Mao it's time for a bath, taking him along. Later that night, as Mao sleeps, Hanoka tells Shin that maybe she's pampered Mao so much he's not walking on his own, that he wants to depend on them. Shin laughs and tells her that she's worrying too much, advising her to let Mao progress at his own pace. Hanoka says they should stop spoiling him so much, but Shin argues that he's still very small and needs a lot of love. They start arguing with each other, and the noise wakes Mao up. He comes out and wonders why they're fighting, and starts crying loud. So Hanoka picks him up and apologizes to Shin, and Shin also says sorry. The next morning, Hanoka shows Mao the pancakes she made for him. Mao's eyes light up, and he stands up in excitement, realizing he can enjoy many pancakes. And they're both surprised by his sudden standing, and Hanoka is happy to see him standing up without any support, unlike Rai and Karen. Sometimes the late bloomers come out strong. The next day is a sports day at the nursery, and the principal announces that the baby who wins will receive a special champion costume in a box. Hanoka imagines Mao wearing a cute flower costume. Shiori envisions Rai in a cute tiger costume, and Natsuki thinks of Karen in a shiny costume. They all become serious about winning the costume for their babies. The first event is a race. The principal says, "Start!" and all the babies begin running while standing on their carts. Karen reaches the finish line first, followed by Rai and then Mao. Natsuki is happy holding Karen, while the others don't look as happy. Next, the babies have to throw balls into baskets. The caretaker explains that the baby who throws the most balls in wins. Karen tries to throw, but accidentally hits Mao. She tries again, but ends up hitting Rai. Shiori makes a very angry face, and Hanoka speaks out, telling Karen not to play like this. After the game, the caretaker counts the balls and declares Rai as the winner. The others are surprised, and Shiori praises Rai for winning, saying, "Good job, Rai." The next game is target practice. But the babies just end up targeting the principal instead, leaving him lying on the ground frozen. So the caretaker declares the round a tie. I almost feel bad for the principal, given how much he gets hit by stuff. Now it's time for a candy search competition. Mao is thrilled to find a candy piece, while the other babies can't find any. Hanoka and Shin are extremely happy that Mao won this game. Then there's a bread eating competition, followed by a giant ball rolling race and an obstacle course, and Mao crosses the obstacles first. The final contest is a box jumping competition. Scores are displayed, with Mao having the highest score. The babies are told that the first one who jumps over the box and makes it to their mama wins. First, Karen's mother calls her, but she starts pushing the box instead of jumping. Next, Rai's mother calls him, but he just climbs on the box and falls asleep, mistaking it for a bed. When it's Mao's turn, Natsuki and Shiori says that he's dumb and will mess up, too. However, Mao surprises them by successfully jumping over the box and reaching the other side. Hanoka tells Mao to come to her, but he just goes for a lunchbox instead. The principal announces that the winner is Mao. Hanoka and Shin are surprised that Mao only jumped for the lunchbox, while the other babies are eating. Mao enjoys his favorite pancakes. Hanoka then eagerly asks for the champion's costume for Mao. However, both Hanoka and Shin are surprised when the principal offers his own outfit, and they refuse to take it, shocking the principal. The next day, Hanoka is in bed due to a high fever, and Shin advises her to rest for the day. Mao comes in and approaches Hanoka, but she starts coughing. Shin takes him away to avoid him getting sick too, and tells him he can't play with Mama today, which surprises Mao. As Mao is playing, he feels sad that Hanoka isn't with him. He attempts to walk towards a room, but Shin notices and stops him. While Shin was occupied with work, an idea strikes Mao. Shin looks at Mao and senses something unusual, just as he sees Mao heading towards the door again. Mao then tricks Shin by taking off his clothes and creating the illusion that he's already seated there. Shin is surprised by Mao's intelligence, but stops him from going inside. Now Hanoka is sleeping in her bed when Shin enters with some food. She doesn't want to eat, but Shin motivates her, saying it will help her get better faster. He places the food before her, and she just stares at it. So Shin offers to feed her. She eats from his hands, saying that the food is really good. But when she looks towards the door, she sees Mao standing there with an angry expression. Shin tells Mao that they aren't playing without him. He just brought food for Mama. Mao starts crying, prompting Hanoka to approach him. She engages Mao in a game of peekaboo, and he starts laughing again. But as she tries to make him laugh more, she begins coughing, and Mao's laughter fades as he watches her. Hanoka sneezes and coughs again, making Mao realize that his mama is unwell. He slowly moves away from her, and Shin recognizes that Mao also wants Mama to get better soon, and Mao confirms this. The next day, Hanoka's fever is gone, but Shin has started coughing as he caught a cold from Hanoka and is now bedridden himself. And while Shin is unwell, Mao plays happily with Hanoka. Later, Shiori asked Hanoka, "Do you like Shin?" And Hanoka began blushing. Natsuki questioned, "Is that true, Hanoka?" And Hanoka says, "No," but is still blushing. As most of the time, Hanoka's eyes were on Shin, and Natsuki commented, "You can talk about this stuff with us. I love talking about it." Shiori asks when Hanoka is going to confess her feelings to Shin, and Hanoka says, "No, I couldn't do that." Natsuki says that Mao would probably be happy too if it were true, as children gain confidence when their parents have a good relationship. Hanoka says, "Okay, I'll try." She imagined Mao's happiness in response and recalls a time when she and Shin were fighting, which made Mao cry, showing how parental relationships can affect children. Afterwards, Hanoka returned with Mao, and Shin welcomed them, saying, "Dinner's ready." Her eyes were filled with love as she looked at Shin, while Mao enjoyed his meal. Hanoka remained lost in thoughts about Shin, and how to confess her feelings. The next day, while picking up Mao from the nursery, Natsuki suggested that cooking for Shin might be a way for Hanoka to express herself. At night, Shin was pleasantly surprised to find Hanoka had already prepared his favorite dinner. He enjoyed it wholeheartedly and expressed his appreciation, with Mao also enjoying his meal. Hanoka was delighted that Shin liked it. However, just then Shin advised, "Hanoka, don't push yourself. You have to take care of Mao. Starting tomorrow, I'll try to make delicious dinners like you." Hanoka was taken aback, as Shin hadn't grasped what she was attempting to convey. Later, while Shin played with Mao, Hanoka attempted to tell Shin, "I like you," but instead bursting into tears, confusing Shin. She then corrected herself, saying, I meant Mao." Shin replied, "Oh, yeah, I love Mao too," making Mao blush upon hearing his father's words. Meanwhile, Hanoka sat in a corner feeling down. The next day she told Natsuki and Shiori it didn't work, but thanked them for their support. They comforted her and encouraged her to try again next time. The next day in the nursery, the principal tells Hanoka that to protect devil babies from diseases of the human world, they have to do their inoculations. As devil babies start growing, they become prone to illnesses. At home, Shin looks scared after hearing that Mao will be inoculated. Hanoka asks, "Are you afraid of shots?" Shin just gives a scared smile and falls down. He starts crying and saying, "I'm sorry, I am afraid of shots." Hanoka says, "Okay, I'll take Mao for inoculation." But Shin shivers and gets up, saying, "I'll come too. I am his father." At the nursery, Shin is very scared of the shot in the principal's hand. Hanoka asks if he'll give the shot, and he says, "I do have a devil medical license." First, it's Rai's turn. He holds Rai's hand and gives the shot. Rai is confused for a moment, then suddenly starts crying after he realizes it hurts. Seeing him cry, Mao and Karen shiver and run away from there. Hanoka and Natsuki follow them, but they see the devil babies already in their costumes, ready to attack, as they're scared of getting shots. Just then, Karen breathes out snow from her mouth. The principal also arrives there, saying, "I won't let you go away," but gets attacked by Mao. Both babies look angry, so Shin says, "I'll try to convince them." He says they get scared of Rai's crying, so he'll get the shot too and show them it's okay. He asks the principal if humans get that shot, if anything happens. The principal replies, "Nothing will happen, it'll just hurt." Shin says he'll have to do it for Mao, but Hanoka is worried for him, as he's afraid of shots. Now, the doctor gives the shot to Shin, and the babies are observing him. After the shot is done, Hanoka happily says, "Well done, Shin." After watching Shin, Mao is ready to take the shot. The principal injects it and Mao bravely endures it. Hanoka praises him and thanks Shin for helping. It's Karen's turn, and she's shouting loudly while getting the shot. At night, Hanoka tells Mal that Shin acted very bravely today, and now she likes him more. Mal listens to her and smiles. The next morning, when Hanoka is still sleepy, Mal starts calling to her. Hanoka wakes up in shock because he starts talking and calling her Mama. If you want more videos like this, you can like and subscribe to help keep tuned in for whatever the crazes we do next. And with that, I'll see y'all next time!